Before I read this lesson today, it comes from Isaiah 11, 1 through 9. And it talks about, the first verse says, there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And before I go on with this, I want to go back just a little bit. It hasn't been but just a week or two that you heard Richard preach about the begets, the generations, all the family tree, from Abraham, Isaac, all the way to David, and how the Messiah, Jesus, would come out of the lineage of David.
Yep.
He just spoke about it and preached about it. So I want to go back and I want to set a little bit of foundation just for a moment. And I want to tie some history in with it, because history in the Bible, I can lay them and show you hand to hand they go.
Come on, Ron.
Now they said the Messiah, Jesus, would come out of the lineage of David. You've heard Zach sing the song, I'm a royal descendant. You've heard all the songs, as I've already quoted, Lloyd sings, I'm glad to be a part of the family of God. But when Jesus was born, that day there hadn't been a king set on the throne of Israel for 400 years. Because the sin of Israel, and because the sin of David's descendants, God's punishment come forth. And that tree, that royal tree, the Lord calls it a royal cedar tree, was chopped off, cut off. A direct descendant, Jehoiakim was a direct descendant of David. He was one of David's grandsons. He sat on the throne of Israel, and the Bible records that he did evil in the sight of God.
Come on, Ron.
And if you don't go there now, but you can read it this week. This week, when you want something to read Ezekiel 17. God come to Ezekiel and he said, Ezekiel, son of man, I want you to put forth a riddle. I want you to put forth a parable to the house of Israel. And he went on, and I'm not quoting word for word because I'm condensing this. He went on and he told them a parable. And he told the house of Israel, he said they would be an eagle come, a long winged, full of feathers, full of colors. And he would come and he would chop off the highest branch of the cedar tree. And he would carry it off the twigs and plant it into another plant. And he was speaking of the eagle. Of course, the Bible refers to the eagle as God, but he was speaking of Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar was going to be a tool for God. And history records that the Babylonians come in and they invaded the land. And they took the king of Israel and they took him back. And Nebuchadnezzar took and he set Josiah's youngest son, Zedekiah, in power. And the parable went on, and he said that they would shoot up and they would bow their limbs towards another eagle. And the history records that Zedekiah, Nebuchadnezzar left a ram of people in Judah. And Zedekiah in charge of it. And Judah was a prosperous land. And they could have prospered if they would have stayed loyal to Nebuchadnezzar. But Zedekiah, he went to Egypt, sent his messengers to Egypt. And he tried to get the Pharaoh to come and join armies and supply him with chariots and horses and all these things. And help him rebel against Nebuchadnezzar. That wasn't God's plan. So he broke the treaty with Nebuchadnezzar. And of course, the history records that Nebuchadnezzar come back, and that's we've studied it. They tore down that great temple of Solomon's. They jerked the gates down and burned them. They chopped off everything. They utterly destroyed everything in Jerusalem.
Right, Ron. Come on, Ron.
And you can go and read, and they killed Josiah's sons in front of him, and they poked Josiah's eyes out, took him to Babylon, and he died in Babylon.
Yep.
So here we go. This royal tree of David's was chopped off and leveled to the ground.
Yep.
Wasn't nothing left of it, preacher, but a stump. A rotting stump for 400 years.
Thank you for that.
But wait a minute. In Samuel, 2 Samuel, God told Nathan to tell David,
Yeah.
he said, and thine house shall be kingdom established forever. Before thee thy throne shall be established forever. So God made a promise to David that upon his throne, he'd establish a throne that would last forever.
You're right, Ron.
So, for 400 years, we had this great family tree, this great cedar tree, chopped off level to the ground, just a stump, a rotting stump. There was no hope. There seemed to be no way. The world was lost. Israel was lost. They had no throne. They was ruled by kingdom after kingdom. And so 400 years it lay there. Seemed no way possible. But God made a promise that to David.
Sure is. Come on, Ron. I'm enjoying this. God cannot.
He said, your kingdom, I'll establish your kingdom forever.
Yeah,
On
man.
your throne. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse. A branch shall grow out of his roots.
Come on. Oh, my.
Isaiah has many names for the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
He called him Almighty God. He called him Counselor. He called him the Suffering Servant. But he called him the Branch.
Yeah.
And I'm glad this morning that I'm part of that branch.
Amen.
I'm glad that I'm connected to that branch. That branch is my shelter.
Yeah.
That branch is my hope.
Oh, yeah.
That branch feeds me, waters me,
Amen.
and keeps me living. I'm part of that tree of life, that tree of Jesus. Isaiah said he'd come forth like a tender plant.
Yeah.
Out of that rotten stump where there wasn't no hope, out of that stump that had been decaying for 400 years,
Come on,
come a
man.
little shoot. He come up, he was born
Amen.
in a manger. He was born as a child. He was tender. He grew out of that stump.
Yes.
And he was the true king.
Sure was. Yeah.
He was from the lineage of David. He was King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Jeremiah called him the righteous branch.
Amen.
Zechariah said that the branch whose name Zechariah said, thus speaketh the Lord, saying, behold the man whose name is the branch. He shall grow out of this place and shall abide and build the temple for the Lord. Now we know that Christ didn't come to build no earthly temple.
Come on.
Christ didn't come to establish his kingdom on this
Come on,
earth.
Ron. You're right.
But the Spirit of the Lord showed Isaiah when he come back the second time, said the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the wisdom of understanding, the spirit of counsel, and of might, and the spirit of knowledge, and of fear of the Lord. And he shall make quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after this sight. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove from the hearing of his ears. He don't judge what he sees or what he hears. He judges from what's inside.
Amen.
But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and his breath in his lips shall slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be girded upon his loins, not like this, and faithfulness the girt of his reins.
Amen.
The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, and their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like an ox. And the suckling child shall play upon the hole of the asap, and the weaned child shall put his hand in the cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in my holy mountain, shall be full of knowledge of the Lord, as the waters of the sea.
Amen.
John said, I saw
Coming down.
I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
Oh, yeah.
Behold, the old earth, everything was passed away.
Amen.
Behold, all things was new. Jesus Christ is coming, and there's going to be a brand new earth, and there's going to be a brand new heaven, and he's going to rule, and he's going to be the light thereof. And as we read, there'll be no more party, no more sorrow, no more pain, no more sickness, no more. Any sin will be destroyed.
Amen.
And the peace will be so, there shall be peace. There'll be no strife, no envy. And everybody will be in perfect harmony.
Right.
Not just us, but the animals, everything in that kingdom will be in perfect peace, in perfect love, perfect harmony. All because of that branch.
Yes.
Yeah.
All because of that tree.
Yes.
He said it, he showed me a pure river. Crystal.
Come on, Ronnie.
Like a sheet of glass.
Yes.
And he seen a tree.
Oh, yes.
And that tree bare 12 manners of fruit. And its leaves was for the healing of the nation.
Come on, Ronnie. Tell
And
me.
by his stripes we are healed.
Yes.
Amen. Oh, that true.
I'm glad I'm connected this morning. to that
Oh,
tree.
yes, that's true. Oh, thank you, Lord.
You come this morning and you give your heart to Jesus. You got grafted in.
Yes.
You're just as much of this family as
Amen.
Richard Harold, Lee Step, Bobby Littles. You're just as much and just as important to this family as anyone else.
Amen.
You've got all rights.
Yes.
You're a son or a child of God this morning.
Amen.
You're part of this family of God.
Oh, yes.
And we're thankful for you this morning. And you're grafted into this tree, and if you'll hold on and stay connected to this tree, you'll get everything
Amen.
you need.
Oh, yes.
Any branch, any vine, when it gets cut or broken away, it don't receive no nourishment.
You're right.
Amen.
It has to have the sap,
You're right.
that living water, Jackie.
Yes.
Amen.
has to flow.
Yes.
If you're here this morning, I want to talk five more minutes, 2 more minutes.
Mind her.
Mind the Lord, Ron.
There's another tree I want to talk about. That's what gives you and I the right to become part of this.
Amen.
Right, amen.
That's where life comes from, ain't it?
God said, cursed be the one who's hung upon the tree.
You're right.
Now, he didn't say that you was cursed to be the one that was killed by the sword. He didn't say cursed the one that was stoned to death. But he did say cursed the one that hung upon a tree.
You're right. You're right.
See, there's another tree that they crucified my Lord, my Savior, Jesus
Come on, Ronnie,
Christ.
tell him.
They hung him on a tree, and he was accursed by the Father for Ronnie Vance.
Yep.
Wasn't sin, but he became sin so he could destroy it. They hung him on a tree. They spit upon him. They smited him. And they did all manners of evil upon him. And he opened not his mouth. He knew he wasn't guilty,
Oh, yeah.
but he knew I was.
Amen.
And he wanted me to be part of his family tree.
Amen. You're right, Ronnie.
And he did it all for me this morning, and I'm
Amen.
thankful this morning.
Thank you, Lord.
If you're here this morning, if you're not connected to Jesus, you're a dry branch.
Amen.
But as the others has already come, as all others has already got connected, you can too.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is ask for forgiveness and ask Jesus to come in your life.
That's it, Ronnie.
All you got to do is get connected to the branch.
Amen.
He said, whosoever will, let him come. Let him take of the water of life freely.
Yes. Amen.
He's been here in a mighty way, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm blessed and thankful just to be a part of this. morning.
Amen.
I love every one of you, and I'll be praying for each and every one of you that's come this
Yes.
morning.
Amen.
But like I say, just hold on to Jesus and stay connected, and he'll give you everything you need.
Amen.